Hi and welcome, I am Helle, and in this video I'm going to talk about SPIEL Essen, which is going to be held from the 3rd to the 6th of October. And there's only about 1 month, and I am excited and I look forward to attending again, and this is going to be my 11th time attending. And what is SPIEL Essen? Well, it is, I think, the world's biggest board game convention, where you're going to have people from all around the world joining in. And this year it's going to be even bigger. And they're going to have about 68,500 square meters just for board games. And that is a lot. And there are going to be about 850 exhibitors from 50 different nations. And that is absolutely crazy, 50 different nations. So in this video I will talk about SPIEL Essen, about the convention, and maybe something about what is new and what I normally do when I prepare for a convention like this. And I am at the moment preparing, and I have been doing it for the last couple of weeks because there are so many new releases, new games that are going to be published each year, and a lot of the games they're going to be published for the first time at the SPIEL, or released at the SPIEL. So there's lots of games you have to go through to prepare for the SPIEL. And if you're going for the very first time to the SPIEL, I can recommend to prepare yourself a bit, because this is a huge convention. And I will give you a view of it, because we're going to look a bit about it. They're going to have 6 halls, and plus the Galleria, where there's going to be lots of booths with board games. At this convention you're going to have publishers, you're going to have board game designers, you're going to have also booth with second-hand games. So if you're looking for an old game that you might not be able to buy, you could find it on the second-hand games. There are going to be lots of booths with board games from publishers, but also some that have a lot of different games they're going to sell. And you're going to have a lot of accessories for board games. Board gaming tables and dice and sleeves and lots of other stuff you're going to find at this convention. And one thing they have made, they also had it last year, they have an app. And I definitely recommend you, if you have a smartphone, to download the app for the SPIEL if you're going. And on the app you can see the different exhibitors, new products, you can see categories, hall plans, and you can also mark all your favorite games. On the new products here you can see the board games, and you can mark board games. You can also click in on the board games and see descriptions for the game and where it's placed. And that is very helpful, and you can also find your way around with using your smartphone. So I will definitely recommend you to download the app if you're going, and then mark all the games that you're interested in on your phone. And then we have this page, which is the hall plans, and this is a fairly important page, because this is where you're going to find your way around in the halls. And a new thing they introduced last year, that they divided things into areas. So you have the yellow area for rolling and miniature games, trading card games and role-playing games. And then you have the blue area for family games. It's more like family games, children games and party games, so more easier going games you're going to have in the blue area. And then you have the hobby game and the expert games in this area and in this area. And in hall 4 you're going to have family games and expert games. So they have divided the halls in different games categories, and you can see there is a lot of booths. This is just hall 1, and you can of course click on them and then get more information about the different spaces, the hall name, and yeah. So this is just hall 1. So let's go and look at hall 2. And again, you can see lots of books. I mean, even if you are there for all 4 days, you're not going to be able to see everything. There are so many games, exhibitors here in hall 3, it's always packed. This is always the most busy hall. This is just to give you a view of how big this is. So we have hall 4. Okay, I think this gray area is accessories industry. This is not just board games. This is different things that have to do with making board games in this gray area. But again, lots of booths in here. And then we have hall 5, and this is more family friendly and children's games you can find in this hall. And then we have hall 6, and there you have a lot of very big booths. So you have some of the really big publishers. They have taken up this hall. If you look at the other ones where you have a lot of small booths, then you have very big areas here. And then you also have the Galleria, where you're going to have a lot of food trucks, and you also go to have some different areas, especially for some large children games. Things for children will often be found out in the Galleria. And in here you can find the exhibitors and the novelties, which is all of the different new games that are going to be available. More than 1,000 exhibitors from 55 different countries, so there's going to be even more. I think last year they had 850, around that. So this is going to be huge. It's 1,000 exhibitors. And in here you can find all the exhibitors. You can also search for them or click at the names. This you can also see on the app. So 1,000 exhibitors, that is crazy, guys. And the novelties, that is all of the new games that are going to be there. So you can go through this list too. But wow, I just saw 1,000 exhibitors, not 850. That was the last one that I had heard about. But yeah, it's going to be even bigger this year. And when I prepare for the Spiel, I will go through all of the new games, what they call novelties here. All of the new games that are going to be there. And here I'm going to use both Board Game Geek and then a tool called Tabletop Together. And I will make sure to make a link in the description for both of these. But I can show you what I'm using, because I think if you're going, it's a good thing to be a bit prepared, because if you're going for the first time, you're going to be so overwhelmed because it's so huge. I mean, the halls, if you just look at one hall, it's very big and there are so many booths and you can easily get very overwhelmed. So it's a good thing maybe to be a little bit prepared, have looked at some of the new games that are going to come out, and then you have an idea of what you want to go and look for. But again, one of the fun things with being at a convention like this is just also to be surprised, walk around in the halls and then discover new things, discover new games that you wouldn't otherwise have seen. Because as there are going to be publishers or exhibitors from 55 different countries, there are some games that you wouldn't otherwise be able to see, but that you can see at the Spiel. You get to play at the Spiel, that you could buy at the Spiel. Games that wouldn't otherwise be available for you. So it is fun also going around discovering games that you hadn't thought about, that hadn't been on your radar, and that you can get surprised about, that hey, this was actually a fun game. I didn't know that this one was maybe something for me. So that is, yeah, some of the fun things with going to a convention like the Spiel, where you can see things you hadn't thought you were going to see beforehand. On the Board Game Geek website, they have a SPIEL Essen 24 preview. And this is a list with some of all the new games that are going to be available at the Spiel. And this is just a long list. And here you can add notes, you can mark the games if for what kind of interest you have for the game. You can of course see more details for the games. And you can click on the game to get more information on the site itself. This one I had used for many years, but we have another site called Tabletop Together tool, which actually that I'm using for my preparation. I have been through the list. At the moment there's 990 games, and you can then mark your games if depending on what category you think, if you want to ignore it, or maybe you want it, like it, want it, or need it. And then you can add personal notes, And also if you pre-ordered or prepaid the game, you can add notes for that too on this list. Here you can also look at the game, you can get some game description, but you can also click on the image, and then it will take you to Board Game Geek, and you can then read more about the game here. And I think that is neat the way this is incorporated. So it's easy for me to use this tool. And they also have some things where you can select and filter and sort for different things that you are interested in. And I have been through this, and I'm looking at it each day. There might come new games up, and then I will go through them and I will mark them. But there's going to be a lot of games, so you can sort them, you can go and look for them for different categories, for different mechanisms. You can see, depending on which type of games you are interested in, then you can sort them out in that way too. So I think this is a cool tool to use when I have to make my selections for the Spiel. So at the moment I am getting ready for the Spiel, and there's always lots to do when going through all these lists. It takes lots of time to check up on all the games and selecting the games that I think that I could be interested in. This year my good friend Liselotte, she is going to join me and help me during the convention, and we are going to attend the press show the day before on the 2nd of October, and we're going to attend the novelty show they have where they showcase all of the new games. We are going to make vlogs from that and hopefully get them up before Thursday where it all is going to start. And we will make vlogs during the show and hopefully get something up every day for you guys to see. If you're not going to the Spiel and you want to follow along, then you can follow along on our days at the Spiel. So at the moment I am busy going through all the lists of new games, and I will make my top 10 most anticipated games list closer to the fair and publish them before we go to the Spiel. But yeah, it's just another great time preparing for the Spiel, and I look forward to going yet again. If you have something you think that I should take a look at, or you have any recommendations, then feel free to share them in the comments. But I will soon be up not soon, closer to the Spiel, I will come up with my top 10 lists. But that was just a little update, and if you have any questions about going to the Spiel and anything, then feel free to add them in the comments. I have made, for some years ago, I have made about a video about going to the convention for the first time, where I talk a bit about going for the convention and give some recommendations and tips. I can make a link for that in the description, and I will make a link for the different sites that I showed you here. But that was it from today, and if you have anything you want to ask me, then feel free to ask any questions in the comments.